Hello everyone and welcome back to the wild wonders of Southern Africa. Today it's another book review, this time by a really good friend of mine, Veronica Roodt. This is The Mammals of Kruger National Park. This is one of those books you just have to have. Everyone going to the park should have this. This will tell you all about the mammals and more. I'm going to delve into the book in a little while, but first I want to tell you that Veronica has been doing this whole life. She has been living in the Okavango Delta. She's been spending time with animals, trees, shrubs, bushes. She knows the bush by heart. Now, if anyone should have written a book, it's Veronica. She's such a kind lady. She even signed my book for me. Now, I don't know how biased this report is going to be. This is really an excellent book in the sense that it's a did you know book. Now, as a tour guide, all of the literature that we have and are given to us is your basic information, basic general knowledge. Now, you can go on to specialized courses to learn about the special interesting things about animals and their behavior, or you can get specific literature on behavior or on facts about animals. But in this little book, each animal has something interesting written about it, and that is really excellent. Now, a lot of my guiding friends really don't like the fact that this book was written, and I think the reason is that with all this information available for the general public, the need for guides are becoming less and less more important. But if you're a good guide, you can learn all of this information and use it to your advantage. So I still think it's crucial to get books like this. What Veronica also did was she spent some time on the skulls, the droppings, and the spoor, the footprint. Now that will tell you if you find a skull in the bush or some droppings or a track, what animal you're looking at. So normally you would need to buy specific books for that, but now you have it all in one spot. So from my perspective, this is really an excellent book. So without wasting any more time, let's delve into the book. As I open it up, you'll see that it's got a little note from the author, Veronica herself, and she's acknowledging quite a lot of people and saying thank you to those that contributed to the book. As I turn the page, you'll see the content is color-coded. I love this about a book. If a field guide has this, it makes it just that much easier to use in the bush. Now, it starts off with a sort of purplish shine here that says non-ruminants, green for ruminants, carnivores, non-carnivorous small mammals, rodents and shrews, bats. So I turn the page, we go to another one. So this is all the sections that it has. Now we have to remember this is a mammal book for Kruger National Park. Unfortunately, this is not for South Africa or Southern Africa. I wish it was. I mean, this is the only drawback that I can think of for this book at the moment, is that it was just for a small little park. But as it is, I can use it for Southern Africa. A lot of the mammals that occur in Southern Africa also occur in Kruger National Park, with a few exceptions. Now, the nice thing also is it goes into some scientific parts. Now, if you haven't got a scientific background like most guides or rangers or field biologists, you might not know what is she talking about when she talks about skull and dentition. But here, right in the beginning of the book on page 5 and 6, she actually goes into a little bit of detail what the dentition of a mammal says about it. So if you go to a certain mammal and it says the difference between this rodent and that rodent is that the premolars or the molars are slightly different, that could mean the difference between a species. So it's important that if you want to have a nice big mammal list, you need to learn this. Okay, so for all my mammal enthusiasts, this is awesome. Okay, turn the page. We start with non-ruminants. So here, order Proboscidae, we see the family Elephantidae. And then Whippomorpha. So that's going to be your African elephants, your hippos, classed under suborders of family Equidae, your zebras, Rhinoceridae, that's your white and your black rhinos, and so forth. So it just tells you which ones fall under your non-ruminants. Thus, you start up with your African elephant. So here gives you the German, Afrikaans, Italian, French and Spanish even. But you do have the Latin name there. So if you are not familiar with any of these languages, the Latin will always help you out. Gives you the skull, what the skull looks like, the footprint, then there's a nice indication of how large it is, front and back foot, the dung, and then, that is cool, this little block here, it's got all of your normal mammal book information compressed into a small little area here. So if you want quick information about a certain animal, you go find it in the page and go to that little block. That's going to tell you shoulder height, gestation period, lifespan, litter size, habitat, food, water requirements, social structure, sexual differences, active period, enemies, the voice, dentition, a lot of information pressed into a small little block. Now also, what I love about this is, if you look at the distribution map, even though this is for mammals of the Kruger National Park, she's gone further and given you the natural distribution in Southern Africa. Now, that's really nice of her, thus helping us to use this book anywhere else in Southern Africa. Now, what makes this book different from all the other books is this little section, Did You Know? So here, must gland. A lot of people have heard about must, but they don't really know anything about it. So Veronica tells you everything about the must gland, what comes out of it, why does elephants have that. Then a little bit more about the heart compared to the blue whale, the speed. So all little facts that you won't get in other books, you get in this book. Okay, so turn the page again. You get the hippo, exactly the same type of layout, now with different facts about the sweat glands, lack of buoyancy and swimming, staying under the water, the metabolic rate of food requirements, and the breeding. So lots and lots of things that, as a tourist coming to the park, this is the things that you will find interesting. Also, as we go further on, you see we're still on the non-ruminant side. Now, we cross further on to the ruminants. Give you the orders, the subfamilies, and just a little bit more about rumini. Okay, then giraffe starts off with that, and exactly the same feature with him. So every species has got a few interesting facts. All your normal information as well. Beautiful pictures for identification purposes. Skulls with horns attached. So if this would have been a female with a bushbuck, just imagine it without the horns. Okay, really, really nice identification book. And I love this Did You Know feature. Now, I don't know if you know this, but Veronica's got a few other books out as well. And I've got the whole range. I am just addicted to it. And I will cover a lot of these other books in my future videos. Now, going past all of the different orders, we'll end up with your smaller mammals, monkeys. There you can see there's some hares and rabbits, squirrels, porcupines, rats, and bats. Now, like I said, this is a small little guidebook that she made to be easily accessible in a car, in a backpack. Now, can you imagine if she made a book for the whole of Southern Africa? It should be about that thick. All the rodents, all the bats. I want that book. If she ever makes one of those, I'm first in line to get it. So I'm going to give this book a 10 out of 10 for information. For size, 9 out of 10, but that's my personal preference. I want information, I want facts, I want things that I can tell my tourists as well when I'm in the bush. So 9 out of 10 for size, 10 out of 10 for information, and well, you can see here pictures, droppings, spurs, skulls, everything's here. That's why I give it a 10 out of 10. Easily accessible index there at the back. And then just on the back side of the book, you can see here where to order. It's published by Veronica Roodts Publications herself and distributed by Veronica Roodts as well. Now you can contact her via email, veronicaroodts@lantic.net. Easiest way to get a book. But these days, this book, you can find it in any shop in Kruger National Park, but also in some of your larger bookstores like Exclusive Books, CNA. And I mean, I know for a fact she does sell a lot of books to people staying abroad, so you can order it even if you're sitting in America, in the States, or in Europe. Okay, so get this book and get her maps. She's a really great map maker, but more on that with other reviews that I do. Thanks so much for watching this book review. Remember, going to Kruger National Park, get yourself a book by Veronica Roodts. Now, I do have a lot of other books in store by some known and unknown authors from Southern Africa about all of the wild wonders that we have. So subscribe, bottom left corner, to keep up to date with all these new books. Now for those that love aquariums, stay tuned. I do have another video on the way about how I built this cabinet. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely week. Bye bye.